Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today I'm with two very special guests from the band, Pretty Awkward.
Ta-da! It's great to be here.
There we go.
Thank you for having us, man.
Thank you for having us.
So, which one of you guys would be considered the lead singer? Austin.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's pretty much all I do.
So, you guys have been around for 2 years now, huh?
As Pretty Awkward about, yeah.
Okay. So, were you guys together in a band beforehand, or?
We did do previous projects together, but we had early in this project, it was called Golden Wolf, and that's when we were just like really just writing a bunch of songs and really diving into it and playing like a few shows in Seattle.
Okay.
But we hadn't like been Pretty Awkward yet.
Yeah.
As awkward as we
that
are.
was a later
Now it's
decision.
pretty awkward.
It is.
Now it's
pretty
very awkward.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
is it fair to say you guys kind of popped out of nowhere, or is it?
We've both had like, different bands within the scene of Seattle.
Mhm.
And then like mine was called Girl on Fire. He had a band called Me Versus Myself.
Okay.
And Aiden. And then eventually you came to play guitar in Girl on Fire.
Yep.
A producer of ours that we worked with suggested that we get another guitar player, or that
Wow.
I start playing guitar. And I was like, I don't want to do that.
Wow.
So called him up, and I think he went and got a guitar and got an amp.
Yep.
And then just came out on the road.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we did that for, I think that was like beginning of 2013 that you came out with us.
Oh.
And then we continued the project until mid-late 2015. And then that's when we went and got a room at the Rainier Brewery.
Okay.
And like just locked ourselves away for like 2 years,
Yeah.
really.
Wow.
And then just buried ourselves. Us and then our guitarist who's with us now, he joined up with us about.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you guys both started in 2013 or even before 2013?
Oh,
Just playing since high school, probably. Just
Yeah,
always
definitely.
playing. Yeah.
Wow.
Just constantly.
Yeah.
It's a weird journey. We've known each other like since high school, pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we both just played in like punk rock bands and rock bands around Seattle. And then when we started this project, we were like, let's not really put ourselves into a box anymore. Let's just kind of whatever we feel that day when we go in the studio. And that's
no
what,
limitations
yeah.
type of thing, yeah.
and that's what really came to be our Pretty Awkward sound.
Wow. So like the overnight success is always like 10 years in the making.
Always.
That is.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
It's always
10,000 hours,
Yep.
10 years, all
Yep.
that stuff.
So
yeah.
how'd you guys get the success with Pretty Awkward? Because your first single together, Bored, that's on, what is it, Now 25 or something? Now That's Music? Or...
Sure. Now 76.
Yes. There's a lot of
That's my
nows.
guess. There's a lot
which
of
is
nows.
which is insane to think about, because I remember being a kid and like staying up way too late and the commercial comes on
Right.
now and I'm just like,
At 1-800 if you
yeah,
buy
yeah.
9 shipments of $9.99.
So yeah, to full circle come back and then be able to look on the back of that CD and see my band's name is
Yeah,
really
it's pretty
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You just came from like understanding marketing over the past decade plus, or?
I mean, kind of like that was the thing, is we've really always tried to really pay attention in any of those situations when, in every stage of our careers, artists and musicians. And, even with the songwriting, with like, we went down to LA to write a bunch of songs for what Pretty Awkward became with a bunch of really awesome producers. And, we're looking over their shoulders. What are they using? What are they doing? What's this? What are we missing in our production elements that we haven't found yet? And I think through that, it really helped us advance our sound to where we wanted to go.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's get to the very beginning then.
Yeah.
Because there's so much to talk about. Let's start with you, Austin. How did you get your beginning in music?
Well, it started off with poetry.
Oh,
Started off with
in Seattle?
writing. Just in middle school. You know what I mean? Like just a middle school class, language arts or whatever. And I really liked poetry because I liked rhyming, and maybe my friends did little raps and stuff. And
Okay.
you're 13, you don't know what you're doing. And so just got into, I really enjoyed poetry. And then I went to, for my freshman year of high school, I went to a alternative school in the Central District called Nova.
Okay.
And they had an awesome language arts teacher. And she was, basically the class was poetry seminars every Tuesday and Thursday for like
Wow.
a semester. And then so I was able to get my chops up through that a little bit. And then the rest of it was just really just doing it, just writing. And then I really got into playing like guitar. My cousin got a guitar. And I was like, I want to check that out. So I like learned a couple chords and I couldn't really get enough of it. So ended up borrowing a guitar from a friend, and just all the little humble beginning type story things, and then just playing like coffee shops in high school.
Okay.
And then I actually replaced Nick in a band in high school. He played bass for a band. I ended up joining up and playing bass in that band.
Wow.
I ended up singing for the band. And then I was out of the band. and then I did like an internship up at Robert Lang Studios in Shoreline.
Okay.
And yeah, like your band came back and recorded, and I got the assist on the session, and yeah, then it was through that process. Like I think everybody that I had come in and like I was recording, it was like, you probably should stop pushing buttons and faders, man. Like you need to go out and sing. And I was like, and then like I just got a hair up my ass and went and talked to some friends at work, and then we started our project Girl on Fire, which that lasted about like 8 years.
Okay.
So, and it was pretty fun. It was very like hard rock, you know, kind of like the Linkin Park, Papa Roach vibe, you know, and it was a lot of fun. But all things come to an end at some point, and then, like you said, we just decided to not give ourselves like a box to fit in. Just make stuff.
Let's have fun.
Yeah. Not really even thinking about it like jobs or anything. Just like we like to write music, and it was funny too because I think we sat down and wrote like our first song at the end of 2013. Like we got done touring. We toured like Buck Cherry for a couple of months, which was really like super like rock and roll education and like just awesome overall.
Wow.
And yeah, so we ended up writing like a song, and it flowed so well that it was like, why don't we just keep doing this? And so I think we just got some iPads.
Yep, started on iPads.
Yep, started on iPads.
To record?
Yeah, with like GarageBand.
Okay, the app.
And then we got some of the SM7Bs, got some headphones, and then just kind of like went from there. And then it was like, a couple years later that we ended up saying like, all right, well, let's get a computer. Get into Logic, get a room, and then just do that, treat that as our 9 to 5, you know what I mean, instead of having a 9 to 5.
Yeah, that's interesting. You guys call your bands projects? Or
yeah.
Wow.
Projects, bands, things, sounds.
Work of art.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's, I guess I never really thought about it.
Did you ever like release any music before 2013, like with those other bands?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So you weren't using iPads like at the very beginning. It's just like when you met.
So when I was in this recording studio, when I was doing the internship thing, I didn't learn like enough to like really make. I did a record. I made a record happen, but it doesn't sound sonically awesome.
Okay.
Like compared to like how I feel like. Okay, it's 15 years later.
Like, wow.
You know, so.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's pretty
it's like we'd always been around music and in recording studios, but we'd never been like on the producer side or like, you know, the recording side. And so once it came time, we just locked ourselves in a room and we're just like, let's figure this all out.
How many hats can we wear?
Wow. Did you use YouTube or was it just like?
Oh, tons of YouTube.
Yep, tons of YouTube, and just previous like I mean, even our friend Justin, who is like our engineer in both of our projects and stuff. Like he's even showed us the ropes type of thing. Like we've had a lot of good friends and help, and like he said, you know, going down to LA and doing songwriting stuff and working with these producers that are a couple levels above us, you know, and looking over their shoulder to see what they're using and, you know, how do you have this job?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how do you just write a song every day and you have a house? How do you do that?
That's
you know what I mean? Like, and you got a nice car. What's up? So it was really cool to experience. And
you should check out I think it's called This Is Pop on Netflix, like this whole documentary.
Yes, I have.
We've watched that.
Really?
So good. Yeah.
I've been taken away by that. That's so cool.
It's crazy to see how far songs and where they come from.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't like never even think.
Right.
So how did you get your beginnings in music, Nicholas?
In high school, I chose to go to a different high school just because a lot of my friends were like, I just felt like I had to go be a different person. You know what I mean? Almost like. So I wanted to start a whole new path. And one school didn't offer like very many guitar classes and the other one did. So I was like, I'm going to go there and check this out. Yeah. And that's what sent me down the journey of that. And then the discovery of like punk rock bands and going to shows when I was like 13. And I remember like going to my first shows and like standing in the crowd and being like, that's what I need to do. That's what I want to do. That makes sense to me. Like this feeling right now, I want to feel that all the time. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like, that just pushed me further and further down that road. And, you know, playing in shitty garage bands with your friends, just making noise just because you can, not even sounding good, but it feels good, you know? And just that process led me from band to band to band. And then it was that moment I really stepped away for like almost like a year and a half and like almost lost all like drive to doing that. And this guy calls me up. He's like, hey, I need a guitar player. I'm like, wow. I'm a bass player, but let's figure it out.
Wow. Did you guys ever go to each other's shows or?
Oh yeah, definitely all the time. We played shows together too with our bands and everything. Okay. So it was like, and all the guys that were actually we play with now have all been in the scene. Like Jake, you know, I've toured with him so many different times in other acts and groups, and it's just like the universe always kind of brings you where you're supposed to go in a way. So yeah, it's interesting to see how it can start from there, from your first show going to it, seeing a band and being like, that makes sense. 2 years later to like, now it really makes sense because I get it.
Yeah.
It's interesting. In Seattle, there's not a lot of artists, hip-hop wise or even pop-wise, that have been on tour. But it seems like you guys have been on tour a few times. What's it like for a Seattle band to go on tour? Because Seattle artists that I've been connected with, they have no idea where to begin.
Right. Well, everybody else in the country thinks you're from the armpit of the country. You're super far away. Like, if you're in Corpus Christi, they're like, wow, you guys are from really far away. I'm like, yeah. But that's really just been kind of like our hustle. Like, the last 16 years of my life, you know, it's just figuring out how do I find a bar to play at that'll pay us $100 to get down the road. You know, like it's strenuous. You know what I mean? Like you're constantly calling people or emailing or trying to make things happen on time, but it's just been a part of, I think, just our punk rock upbringing type of thing. You know?
Just get out there and play and see what happens. You know, if people don't show up, still play and have fun.
At least we even played a show to the sound guy. And a bowling alley. You know, like, I mean, it was fun. Like, and it's especially like, I feel like at this point you don't really mind because you're like, cool, whatever. And then the sound guy's like, oh, dude, I know like several bands in the scene here. Let's book another show. And then a pandemic happens. But yeah, no, it's been really cool to like kind of see the evolution of, you know, just art in general, like where the path leads, you know.
How are bands in Seattle? Like, if once you're a band, are you automatically part of the Seattle scene? Or like for hip hop, you can be a bedroom rapper and don't even know there's a scene. But as a band, do you guys automatically understand that there is a music scene you have to tap into to become known, at least?
Yeah.
I feel like it was a few years ago. I feel like, I mean, right now it's just crazy. We live in the craziest times. But I feel like a few years ago, a lot of bands, you just got out and played and that you would meet those people through that. But like you said, I feel like that's on both sides now. There's a lot of bands too that aren't even, you know, out playing, that are just still in their bedroom figuring it out. But I think, you know, once things open up, hopefully safely, that, you know, there's going to be a huge explosion of that camaraderie in music. People are just going to be so grateful that they can be out together and experience that again, you know, because it's been so long. It's crazy.
Is grunge the main type of bands in Seattle still? Like, I know there's like Folk Life or
I don't know if grunge is really hitting so much anymore, but no, I mean, I think there's a lot of different bands. We have a friend who's in a band that, well, he's in several bands. He's like ska guy. He's like in what's the other band? It'd be basically big band with like hip hop and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so there's definitely becomes like a camaraderie between artists. Like, especially like when you just go out and you play shows. Like, for the most part, I know for me, a lot of it was like getting in touch with people like Dana Sims at El Corazon, and then he would find you an opening slot at a local show, and then you just kind of just mingle and you meet people like you normally do. You know what I mean? You're at work or whatever, you know, and you start to meet people, you meet like-minded people. Everybody's kind of in a similar situation of like, hey, let's make music and get this show to really pop and sell some tickets and have fun, you know. And I think, I mean, that's where I met a lot of my friends that are still doing it, you know, and like still in this scene or whatever it is.
And how are venues, how do they treat bands? Because hip-hop artists, once again, I'm not trying to just compare you guys to hip-hop, but I feel like as a whole, Seattle has the opportunity for all these different forms of art to come together.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So I like to see like how things overlap. But for hip hop, at least, a lot of artists feel like it's almost impossible to become part of Numos or even El Corazon or anything like that. But for bands, because we're known as kind of a grunge city from like Nirvana and all those guys, do venues look for bands more than other artists? Like, how has it been for you guys?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That
because
is a good question.
Like, for us, I mean, from my experience, it's been, there are just a lot of bands. You know what I mean? And so it's easy to find a gig. I could see where it would be difficult with like a hip hop artist because I don't know where to go see an underground hip hop show other than X, Y, or Z. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know. Like, the closest thing that I would get to is like a show like Elko or Numos or something like that.
And I think it is like finding those right promoters that are willing to take, you know, like why wouldn't all these bands play on the same bill in these groups? People just listen to music nowadays. It's not like I listen to this genre strictly and this thing and this. People really love all music, which is awesome that we live in this times when people can actually appreciate all art.
I feel like that's been the disadvantage too, is that like there was a time, I don't know if it's still happening. In my head, I'm like, everything's good. Who cares? But like where everything's just separated by genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you were saying, like everything's kind of playlists now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like everybody listens to everything. You got a kid that listens to pop punk, he listens to rap, he listens to metal, you know what I mean? Like whatever it is, as long as you like it. And so I think there can be more of or whatever could be more of a collaborative effort between genres and stuff.
Yeah.
Has promoting changed for you guys because you've been around for over 16 years?
Let's just tell your friends.
Use the internet more.
Yeah, it's like Facebook still kind of works if you pay them enough. But barely that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it always really comes down to, like, with people discovering artists, is really good word of mouth. If something's really awesome, someone's going to tell their friend, and that just goes from there and there and there. And the best place to hear music is from your friend. You know, like, check out this artist. So I feel like that still is really strong. It happens, but yeah.
Can bands just stay in Seattle and survive off music, or do they have to go out of Seattle and tour?
I'm sure they can, like you're saying with the internet. Like a lot of people, you can blow up on TikTok or something like that, and you can have a career huge in your city and do it. But I do think it's best for people in general just to travel, to meet other people, to see the world, to experience things and have a different perspective, you know, because you don't want to just stay in one place all the time. It's exciting out there when there's not a pandemic.
Especially, I think that helps with like influence too, because what's happening in Minneapolis is different than what's happening in Miami or in like Dallas. You know what I mean? So like going around and getting a feel of what people are listening to or engaged with or what resonates with them. You know what I mean? The hard rock band that we had, like that worked really well in the Midwest. It worked really well in the South. In Seattle, it did all right. You know what I mean? We played some bigger shows in other like cities in like Nebraska. You know what I mean? Or like in Louisiana. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, getting out there is one of those things. It's like a lot of people will notice your band in Seattle after you've left Seattle, or if you're an artist, you know, it's like, because they're going to see, oh, shit, this person's fucking traveling all over the country. Why am I not seeing them when they're in my hometown?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it gives them more of like maybe I should check this out. You know, if they're out there really.
More incentive.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you guys to like get some success or recognition? Did it just take these 16 years, or like?
We made it to the podcast, so we made it. We did it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just it's
things come in waves.
Right. It's just work at it. Keep going.
If you really love it, just keep doing it. Just because that's the reason you got into it. You just wanted to have fun with your friends. So as long as you're doing that, you're probably gonna have a great time.
But have you worried about ever being just stuck as a garage band? Like, did you guys know there?
Nah, because I don't want to be a garage band. You know what I mean? Like I don't. I want to write songs that everybody likes.
Yeah.
You know, like. Yeah, I get what you're asking.
Like, do you know people who've gotten stuck?
Yes.
And what is usually the case on why?
I think not evolving, maybe.
I was gonna say like that, but like I don't know if mine was gonna be sounding as nice. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, you can get, like we were talking about, you can get stuck in a sound, you know, and we probably felt like that in our previous projects. Like, oh, we're gonna make another song that sounds like a punk rock song. Cool. Just made 6 of
it's
those.
Like there's this ceiling that you can't really break.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's only so much that you can do with this particular sound. But what if you took this sound and this sound,
put these together?
Wow.
Oh, that's kind of cool. What happens if you take 5 other different genres and throw it into a soup? You know what I mean? So it's like, because it's all the same shit, just different noise, different sounds, you know? So
and they're all fun, so why not play with them all?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why just be a distorted guitar all the time? It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Right. See, that's what I'm saying. We just need to be like one huge community. Like, not enough bands know enough about the other rappers don't know enough about bands.
Absolutely.
Or like, even I'm telling everyone about this pop scene in Seattle because there's a fucking pop scene that I didn't even realize. And there's like pop bands and.
But that's the great thing, and that's where people like you come in, is you're spreading the word about all these different artists, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Of course.
Yeah.
So when did you guys have a manager now, right?
Yeah.
And how did that come along? Like, when did you guys first get managers?
Right before things went.
Yeah. Things went kaput.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So we signed our deal with the record label.
Okay, and what's the record label?
The record label is The Orchard. It's the division of it is Another Century, but it's The Orchard, and then it's Sony. So
it's not, you're not signed to a record label in Seattle, basically.
No. Yeah, they're based in, I mean, it's New York, LA, type of stuff.
That's dope.
But yeah, so we got that deal, and we had our lawyer, got the label. I think it wasn't until it was 2019 that I went around and I just emailed a bunch of different management companies and hey, just pretty much cold called them, and then we got a hit back from our team now, and they were the ones to really like be engaged and were really actually like excited about the music and stuff. Like there was a lot of other really nice people that just I don't know what to do with this, I'm sorry, but it's really good,
Wow.
So that was really cool, but and a lot of like hopeful, like nice, like you'll find somebody. It was cool. But yeah, these people at Indie Goot really, really liked us, and that was awesome. They had us come out to New York. We did a showcase for the people out there at the label, and for I think four of the guys at Indie Goot.
Yep, they came.
And then
and that was our first meeting with them.
Yeah, it was our first meeting with them. Yeah.
But you got signed before you had a management?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that normal? That doesn't sound normal at all.
It isn't normal, but we had previously worked with our A&R who worked at Sony, so we had.
And can you break down A&R for people who don't understand what an A&R is?
It means artist and repertoire.
Mm-hmm.
They are the liaison between the artist and the label.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of like a middleman, if you will.
Yep.
That is just like a label representative.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the A&R reached out to you to reach out to the label, or?
We reached out to him and told him, we had started this old project because he was actually the president of Century Media, that label. And we told him we started a new project and that we'd love for him to check it out if he got a chance. He flew out to Seattle from LA with
or now A&R.
Now A&R, Mike Gitter, and they watched the show and they thought it was awesome. And then they were like, we're going to send you guys a contract. And we were like, cool, we're going to have our lawyer check it out. And
really?
8 months later.
Going through a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
So do you guys feel like you had to evolve first? Could you have gotten signed with, what would you say it was? What was your other band?
Girl on Fire. Girl on Fire was signed with Century Media at a point.
Yeah.
Like he signed with them in like 2010, I feel like. And then we ended up, because we disbanded, contracts doesn't work anymore.
So you guys understand record labels for a while then?
A little bit here and there. I mean, we've been with independent labels and now working with like major labels.
Yeah, it's been a different ballgame, but I feel like in my experience, it's been a cool experience.
Okay, you guys are being way too humble, I feel like now.
What
Like,
do you mean?
you guys are acting like, we're just like a local band, but you guys understand like how this all works. Which
Well, I mean,
think is
we're still
interesting.
definitely
We're learning.
We're still definitely building this project. This project is very young. I mean, it was we started 2 years ago, like you said, as Pretty Awkward, and we got a year of maybe playing a few shows, and then it was like stop.
Yeah.
So we're still like, hey, we're new. What's up?
Right. Are labels important for bands though? Like, can you be an independent band, or is that something you really kind of?
I mean, if you're slapping on SoundCloud, you're probably good, man. For real. Like, I mean, like I think it just depends on the individual.
Yeah.
Like, it's difficult to say you have to do it this way.
Yeah.
Because it worked this way for somebody else.
Yeah, because the music industry is ever changing. And it's always flowing. So it's like, it just depends on if something feels right for you and what you have in the contract looks what you agree with.
Is that
what I mean?
Yeah. Is it ultimately what will pay the bills at the end of the day?
How did you guys get your first label deal?
First, like
record label deal.
As a band?
Yeah.
My singer of my previous band, he would mail like random weird things to this record label in Chicago. And eventually they were like, we'll check you out. After a bunch of weird emails and messages and stuff. And they flew us out there, and and this was a whole different thing for me. I was like, a couple years out of freaking high school, and I'm like,
some of your bandmates were in high school.
And I feel like they're trying to play it up a little more, make it even scarier. They like rent out this warehouse, and they got the stage and the lights. You can't see them. They walk in with everyone from the office and just kind of play.
Wow.
Totally psych you out.
Yeah. But we were a punk rock band, and what our thing was we're going to wreck everything on stage and just have the great time. So we did, and they loved it. And yeah, after that, it was like we flew home, and they were like, we're going to send you some paperwork.
Wow.
Yeah.
Remember, we played a show at a high school, and your singer came up to me. He's like, check out this contract. I'm like, you just have that in your backpack at the show? What's up? We were like at a Denny's or something like that afterwards.
Yeah. It's
pretty funny.
But yeah, I mean, definitely, I think us having, you know, all these years playing in bands and, you know, going from like independent labels to no label to bigger labels to, I mean, experiencing all the levels of it, I think has helped us really to appreciate all the levels of everything that we're at now and what we're doing, you know? It's like kind of can able to stop time and just look at it and go, okay, I see it now. Because before you're like so young and you're just like,
you just want it to happen.
Yeah,
you want to go.
Yeah.
And like there's definitely a lot of patience involved, you know, because nothing's really overnight, like you said. You know, it's 10 years.
Yep.
And then it's overnight.
And then it's overnight to everybody
that's what
else.
everybody sees.
Yeah. Is that enough for an audience in Seattle to recognize you guys once you get a label, or does it still take time after that? Is that just the beginning, getting a label, or?
I think, I mean, it definitely takes time after that. Because, I mean, we haven't been able to play shows in the last year and a half.
Okay.
You know, we had to come home because of the pandemic from a tour. And
we were like right out on the road, and we were like a couple weeks in, we're sitting there like hand sandy watching the news, like what's happening, what's going on. And then it was like, you know, talking to our management, do we continue down this path? You know, we got like 8 more shows. Do we keep going? They're like,
it's
just
not
reached
looking
a point.
so good.
Yeah, it just reached a point where it was like, you guys really should go home. It's getting pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what month was it when you guys got signed? It was before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably a year or so
I think
before.
we finished the paperwork in like April of 2018.
Yeah, because we spent
Okay.
a lot of time, a few months down in LA writing a bunch of songs and working on music. So, yeah.
Yep.
And then how long were you into your tour? Like, had you done a few stops? Was it like one of your first stops?
Well, so after we signed the contract, because we signed the contract as Golden Wolf,
Okay.
right? So our company is Golden Wolf LLC. I think it was maybe like a month or two afterwards, we got a notification from the Sony lawyers that, hey, we're going to need you to change your name. There's too many other artists in the country that have had a name similar to
Really?
that could cause some sort of licensing issues that have had it longer than you.
So we already had like been working on this brand for a while. We're like,
I had like the logo and all the cool stuff.
time to switch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pivot.
So why did you guys choose Pretty Awkward?
After a drive home through a bunch of names.
Yeah, like
thinking of names. Yeah.
and months.
Yeah.
Months. Like it was like we were told this in I think like May of 2018, and then we finally came to Pretty Awkward in like October.
Yeah, on the drive back from LA.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah. And it was
We just kind of looked at our whole situation. And it was
Yeah.
like,
It's pretty
This
awkward.
is
pretty awkward.
this is really awkward.
We're now unnamed band signed to a record label.
a major record label
So
with no management.
pretty awkward.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then what is the logo? The logo, is that supposed to be like mountains or?
Sure.
Sure. Or I was thinking maybe it's like a PNW vibe, and there's just like mountains behind your.
Could be that. Could be pyramids. Could be
Oh,
triangles. Could be
Yeah. Whatever your heart's desire that
yeah.
does those shapes.
there we go. So what was COVID like after that for you guys? Were you guys just riding the entire pandemic, or?
Pretty much.
We when we got back, we locked ourselves down, and then, I mean, we really wanted to play music and just be in a room together. So we actually rented out a cabin in the San Juan Islands,
Ooh.
and went out there and did like a few performances of some of our songs, just so we could perform and then put them out for people that weren't going to be able to see us play them on tour. So it was awesome to be able to get together and just feel a little bit of normalcy, because it was just like months on end without seeing each other and just like staring at computer screens and making music and sending it back and forth. And hey, check this out! I have an idea. This is like never not even seeing each other. This is weird.
Yeah, but it was awesome because it gave us really a lot of time to hone in on those skills. You know, not necessarily have to worry about, all right, we got to go on tour, and then
Yeah.
you know, I'm worrying about taking my shift
Right.
on the van. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Driving the next 4 hours or whatever. You know, I can just think about how do I make this song work.
Mhm.
You know, how do I make it the best that it
Wow.
possibly can be? Yeah, and it was it was really a cool experience. I mean, all things given, of course, but like to sit and just really hammer it out, especially after we were, shown tools that we didn't know existed before.
Exactly. We actually had the time now to like apply those, and it was like,
Digest everything.
yeah. I mean, luckily, we'd pretty much gone to the boot camp of sitting in a room with no windows and working on music for the previous years, you know, when we were working on Golden Wolf. So when it came time to go to that, it's like, okay, let's just go lock ourselves away again and work on this and try to stay safe from this crazy world outside.
Wow. And do you guys all know how to produce and like use DAWs and everything like that?
Yep.
Is that from the cabin or just over?
That's been since 2015 when
Yeah,
we got Logic, and we
yeah.
really like buckled down, and then eventually got another computer.
Yep.
Okay.
And so now it's been like, you'll make some music,
Yep.
toss it to me, I'll throw my lyrics on it, I'll throw my vocals, and basically just complete the mix,
Mhm.
you know, send it back to him to master it. It's just kind of like a back and forth.
Yeah.
Do you guys sample at all, or is it all just your instruments when you're?
I mean, we use like drum sample pads. If we like use like drum pads and stuff like that, and like depending on whatever sound. I mean, we have a bunch of different cool like synth noises and just crazy things and plugins that just like
Yeah.
make the craziest noises when you throw stuff through it. So,
Yeah.
and we're all about that. It's just like take whatever we can find and just manipulate it into whatever and have
Mhm.
fun.
I feel like that's been like the cool part about the music that we listen to as
Mhm.
well, is that like some records, it's like it's not the same drum set throughout the whole 12
Yeah.
songs.
Mhm.
It's there's a different kick here, there's a different snare
Yeah.
here, it's
And we
different vibes,
we
different
came from
feels.
that rock world where it's like you set up the drums mic and you're like, okay, that's what the drums sound like for the record. It's like
That's it.
I want different stuff all over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Variety.
So how is your like song rollout? It's only been singles. Do you guys have an
Yeah.
album coming out? Because
We
you
do.
guys.
We do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's gonna be called Get Weird.
Get weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's pretty awkward.
It is. But yeah, there will be 11 tracks on it. I think we just released the 5th one,
Mm-hmm.
Hangout.
Hang out. Oh, I love that. That's my
Yeah.
favorite one so far.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was really fun to write and like
Yeah.
brainstorm with. So, but yeah, there's another 6 tracks. I think we're gonna do a couple more singles before the record drops.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'm not quite sure on what the date of that is,
Yeah.
but
Everything's kind of up in the air right now.
it is.
Excited though.
Is this like a debut album, or is it just like?
This will be the Pretty Awkward debut record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot.
And these are, I mean,
Oh,
these are,
yeah.
this is all stuff we've been, working on for like the last 5 years just to
Wow.
be where we be. I mean, we have so much songs and material written, but this is going to be our first step out there, which is exciting.
Mhm. What's like a release party or a show for you guys like? Because you've had like so many years of experience. Like, do you have like a theme when you're going to be releasing this project? Like, is it going to be?
That's an idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess I've never really thought about like a theme to a show
Oh, really?
before. Like, it's just been like, oh, hey, our record's out, playing a show.
Come rock out.
Come hang.
Come stage dive.
Yeah, that would be a different experience for sure. But
Wow.
yeah, I mean, hopefully we can have some cool
Yeah.
show.
Hopefully the world's open. and we
Yeah.
can play a show like that.
Yeah,
That's-
a lot of like the Crocodile's like full back.
Yeah.
Numos is back.
Yeah.
Barboza. I don't think WAMU or Showbox is back
Mm.
quite yet.
Yeah.
Have you guys performed? How many like venues in Seattle have you guys performed at?
The last show that we played in Seattle was at the Crocodile.
The old Crocodile.
Ooh.
Yeah, the old one in February 2020.
Yep.
2020. But yeah, yeah, that was a fun show. That was
Yeah, that was
played-
like right before we kicked off for that tour that we had to come back from.
Yep.
It was like, played
Mm.
Seattle. I was so grateful we got to play Seattle. though.
yeah.
Played Seattle, and it was a sold-out show with
It was.
Classic Crime. Yep.
Mhm. College Radio
College Radio.
and Assuming We Survive.
Yep.
It was a fun show.
Yeah, it was an awesome show.
And David Lunford.
Yep.
He was
Yep.
Spot in the middle
Yep.
there.
Is it important for you guys to connect with the band community in Seattle, or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like we were saying before. It's like when you play that show, it's when you get that moment to really like meet these people that you're like, oh, I've been listening to your music for these last couple of weeks because I knew I was playing a show with your band and checked it out, and it's cool to actually like meet them and have those conversations and be like, hey, well, and then so many other shows and things branch off from that because you're like, why aren't we playing more shows with this band? These guys are
Yeah.
awesome,
Why have I just heard of them
Yeah,
tonight?
yeah. Yeah.
And do bands usually just tour with other bands, or do they ever mix it up with like hip hop artists or pop artists? Or
We love like playing with everybody. Like we pretty much told our like people anytime we want, just put us on anything. We want to play all the time.
Yeah.
I don't care what the bill is. I think it's just get music out there and play. Yeah, we definitely when we can play again, just want to put really together diverse shows. A bunch of different artists and genres because
Yeah.
that's what we love listening to anyway. So we should be performing that live.
yeah, there's so many cool like random like mini festivals in Seattle.
There
popping
are,
up, too.
Right.
yeah,
Like
there are.
people in Seattle are ready.
Yeah,
So
they are.
if,
They're hungry.
if WAMU's not going to throw a show, or like Bumper Shoot's not happening, someone else is going to make some independent thing,
Definitely.
which is pretty exciting.
Which you're thinking about doing. I can see in your eyes. You're like,
I have a lot of
I've met all these
ideas.
artists, but they're playing a show together.
Of course.
The gears are turning.
So what do you think makes you guys stand out as a band compared to the other bands in the industry?
I don't think. You want to take that?
I don't know,
I mean-
man. Like,
I
I got a
think it's
silly
I think it's
voice.
our uncaring to try to stand out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I feel like there's so like we were talking about. There's so many genres and different people doing different things. It's like just take it all in. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to be a different sound. Even if you put 2 people in the same room and tell them to write the same song, it's going to come out different.
Yep.
Just
Mm.
because it's going to come out their
If
personality.
Nick
their
plays
feel.
a Paul McCartney song, it's not
Yeah.
going to be a Paul McCartney
Exactly.
song. It's not necessarily a his song, but
Yep.
it's him playing this song that's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
completely different. Yeah,
Yeah.
the strums are never going to be the same.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? The fingers aren't the same. It's not the same person.
I stole his fingers.
They're in this little bag.
I just start slapping them on the fretboard.
So, do you guys have day jobs anymore? Or, like, when's the last time, if you don't have one, you guys had day jobs?
It's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 2019.
Yeah, I've worked I've worked all sorts of jobs. I've worked in warehouses. I've worked in like produce stands. I've worked in grocery stores. I mean, anywhere they'll pay you to do what you love the next following day.
But you guys have had to know, like, you wanted to be successful artists.
Yeah. For me, like, my work life aside from music has been like I'd work in construction or whatever, but my mindset was more of like, this is just gonna pay for this. Like, this is gonna fund this thing. And so I just got to the point where I was kind of done doing something I just wasn't really into doing, and then just focusing just on music, you know.
Is there like a certain mindset you have to go in? Because I feel like everyone would love to not have a 9-to-5 job. If they could make money building fucking Lego Eiffel Towers all day or something,
If
would
I could
do
make
that.
money building Eiffel Tower Legos all day, woo, I'd be into it. But yeah, no, I think really just having no expectations
Yeah.
and knowing that it's ultimately up to you. You know,
Yeah, I mean, we've come from the punk rock world, so we've been like sleeping in vans, you know, and doing whatever to get by for forever. So, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm ready to continue to do that, to play music.
So it's not a competitive mindset, or like?
I think for myself, to be honest, like, yeah, in the beginning. Yeah.
Okay.
But like, you get humbled very quickly because there's always somebody better than you. There's always somebody, you know what I mean, else that's got that. And I feel like that's a common thing for a lot of inexperienced artists, is to have a competitive mindset. But I feel like at a certain point, you know, within like when I was interning at the recording studio, you know, there was a lot of like camaraderie in that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It wasn't like, you know, this mixer's against this mixer and who's got the better mix.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like, no, that sounds great, man. Hey, check this out. And oh, that sounds great. So it's a very supportive community, and just kind of transferring that into being in a band, and
Yeah.
you know, like,
You should only
and
ever,
you're getting more out of that.
yeah, I mean, you should only ever be in competition with yourself.
Right.
Because really, that's all that matters, is if you do better for you.
You're
each
only
day,
as good as
you
your
know what I
last song.
Okay.
mean? Yeah.
Do you have to be like all in though? Like, is there a certain mindset you guys are really in, where if it's not competitive, where you just knew you didn't have a backup plan, or like?
Yeah, I just I don't want to do anything else. So why
Why
even think about
do
it? Why
that?
even think about it being a competition? I mean, I just want to play music with my friends.
Was your guys' family supportive when you first?
My family's super supportive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I'm
Thank-
very,
thankfully,
very,
yeah.
very fortunate to
Both- Yeah.
have that.
Both my parents growing up is always just do what makes you happy. So when they see, you know, they come to shows and they see me on stage, just
Yeah.
that guy's happy.
I think my folks might have a problem with it if I was still drinking like 40s like every night,
Yeah.
and like, oh, this band's gonna work, you know? Like,
I swear, Mom.
yeah, like, what, you're still drinking 12-11 steel cans, like, what's going on?
Wow.
But yeah, no, I think definitely just buckling down and just being professional about it, you know, and professional is whatever you want it to be, really.
Yeah,
like,
especially in the music industry.
yeah, and I feel like
There's no wrong way to write a song.
there
There's-
isn't,
You just, whatever feels good,
Wow.
makes you
Right.
want to move.
right?
What were some like misconceptions you guys had of the industry before you were able to get signed? And all
That you
that?
didn't have to do anything. You have to do a lot, like all of it.
Yeah.
You have to do everything.
And I think there was a point when artists didn't have to. You know, they would have a lot of people that take care of them.
That's probably where that
but now
came
it's
from.
like, yeah. But now it's like you got to be the social media guy. I mean, they didn't have social media back then to even deal with. So
Yeah.
it was just like show up, play here, and they'd be like, okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah. No, I think,
Now it's,
to be honest, man, like, the ball is in the artist court now.
Mhm.
It's been in the artist court for a while, especially with the technology that we have. I mean, we started with iPads and GarageBand. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, but it worked, and it was cool to like practice writing a song, you know.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, you know what you like.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what they like. So if you know what you like, you can do that too. Just listen. And it's really, like, to me, music is definitely a like weird form of meditation.
Yeah.
You know, playing it or listening to it or whatever. And I mean, there's times where I have it just in the background and I'm not thinking about anything. I'm
course.
petting my dog and I'm like, oh, cool. But like, if I'm focused and I'm listening to a record, like, how people do when you buy an album and you listen to all the 12 songs in a row, not doing anything else. You're just sitting on your couch going, Like, I feel like I get a lot more out of that. I can hear what the tambo's doing. I can hear what the shaker's doing. I can hear, oh, there's a little conga in the background of that, 4/4 on the floor beat or whatever, like, what's the bass moving to? What's the guitar moving to? How's the lyrics going? How's, it's the cadence and everything like that. And focusing on those things and then going, okay, well, this is what I like and this is how I like to do it. And for me, myself, I think everybody has a problem with their voice or whatever, for lack of a better way to say that. It's like,
because you hear it all the time. So
right. You hear it like this all the time.
Yeah.
So when you get into here, it's like, oh God. Well, this sounds disgusting. No, but like, like there was just a particular way that I like my voice to sound in certain, I guess, like emotional parts of a song. If I want to get growly, or if I want to be soft, or if I want to be poppy, or whatever. I think that's really, I think that's the key in all of it, is finding your thing that you really like. What is the thing that you love? And there's 7.5 billion people on the planet. Somebody else is gonna like it, It's just a matter of getting it out there.
But some bands suck and they just don't know it. how do you guys know that you guys are good? Because you obviously are. Your music's dope, but
all you can do is put it out there and play. And if people show up, then you kind of know. If people show up and you're like, oh, you're feeling this wave that I'm on.
Right.
We're connecting now together in this. Okay, it's gonna be all right. But if you're playing and there's people are showing up and like,
if they start to leave,
oh God,
you
then
get the what are these?
Then you probably should just stop the set. You should probably just.
Has it happened to you guys ever?
Like
when you
of course.
First started?
Yeah.
I mean, you can offend some people sometimes. I mean, people will get offended if they don't like your music. They don't like your music.
There we go. Well, what are your guys' goals for the next few years?
Tour.
Definitely to tour so much, just because we were like road dogs. We loved being on the road. We loved traveling and going different places. So this whole last 2 years has been insane. Like not being able to go out and play music. So it's
and being signed, just not being. That must.
It's like I want to go. Come on,
put us in the game, coach. Let's go.
What are your guys' favorite cities to tour to?
I love the West Coast. All of it. I've not had a bad experience in one city. I remember I was asked one time, like, what's the worst city? And I was like,
Seattle.
There really hasn't been one. Yeah. Okay. But no, like there really hasn't been one. Like the communities in all these different cities, they vary, but they're all like very welcoming, very open. Like I think that's a commonality that, music has everywhere, all over the world. Not the universe, but who knows yet, right? But like everybody just enjoys the fact that, or not everybody I should say, but there's a lot of people that enjoy the fact that you came to their town and you played a show for them. And it wasn't until I think like 2012 that I played a show and somebody like thanked me.
Oh wow.
Like I'm like, I'm supposed to thank you because you came and you gave me $5 for a t-shirt or whatever, you know what I mean? Like awesome, that's nice. And then I started hearing it more, like thank you for coming and playing. I'm like, wow, that's kind of like catches you off guard because you don't really expect it after playing punk rock bands. You're like, oh, that's cool, man. I'm like, oh, thanks, dude. But like that's about it, Like,
it's crazy to see what a song can do, or how someone can interpret it, or how it touches their life in a certain way, or how it was this soundtrack to a moment that they had with their lover or best friend or anybody, And it's cool to hear those stories. It's like when you travel and you actually get to meet those people that are like, oh, I found your band online. I'm listening to songs, and my son got married to this song, or this happened, and it's like, what?
This is the song that we were listening to when we met, and I'm like, well, I wrote that in my bedroom.
I was high when I wrote that.
How much has the blue check mark on Instagram changed your lives, or has it?
I will give you this: if you do have one, it will make people pay attention to your message if you message them. So that is helpful. If you are an artist and you do have one, and you're still coming up, like I still love to write people randomly and be like, hey, I would love for you to check out my art if you got a moment. Sometimes they'll be like, I don't care what you're saying to me right now. Some people will be like, I can't believe you're writing me right now. Wow. You know what I mean? So
you've got a blue check. Same with Twitter.
Yeah.
You got a blue check mark. What are you doing talking to me? I'm like, okay, maybe I should stop.
No, don't.
No, but like, it definitely, people respond to it for sure. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. What are your guys' like hobbies outside of music?
Photography.
We both have our cameras on us. We were going to walk around Green Lake and take a bunch of photos, and then we were like, it's really hot out.
Oh, God.
We chose the hottest time of the day to
Yeah.
go walk around Green Lake.
It's been a hot summer,
It
honestly.
really has, yeah.
That heat wave we had. Oh God,
Yeah.
what did you guys do during the heat wave?
What did I do? I went on bike rides.
Okay.
still.
I laid on the floor with
Yeah.
my Boston Terrier. It was like, just stay cold, buddy. And he's like, it's like, stay cold.
That's dope. Do you guys like doing like photo shoots, or you like taking pictures of like nature, or what do you guys like to?
We do it all. I mean, we really also during, this whole lockdown and thing just got into photography, and we do a lot of our band photos along with a bunch of other awesome photographers we work with too sometimes. But yeah, and we
film some stuff. We'll do like the content with them and stuff, and
mostly naturey stuff, just because you can't really.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to shoot. I would love to go shoot people and stuff like that, but it's still COVID.
Yeah.
Delta.
Oh God. See, that's the new thing.
Delta.
So first, like the Corona beers, they're getting backlash. What about Delta Airlines? Something gonna happen with that?
Probably stocks just tank.
Probably. It probably will. That's just how it works.
Do you guys go hiking, or like, are you nature guys?
Yeah. I mean, I'll just hang out. I live in West Seattle, so
Okay.
there's a lot of like green belts and parks.
It's
to kind
changed so much, though.
Of,
It's
it
not
has.
sad.
It's pretty gnarly.
And
It's
now
not
there's
small
no
town
way to
anymore.
get there.
Oh,
no,
God.
there's no way.
You have to go through White Center now.
Yeah.
There's bridge is
man.
gone.
Yeah, it's crazy too, because I woke up this morning super early and I went on a bike ride at like 6.
Yeah.
And because the bridge is closed, that whole area of West Seattle is just dead and empty. So I'm just sitting there cruising around on the street, just loving it, like nobody's around.
Oh.
But yeah, my dad was telling me, he works as an electrician, and he was telling me that leaving at 5:30 in the morning has been hell.
I
can
bet.
imagine.
Like I was like, oh wow. He's like, yeah, it's basically traffic at 8 o'clock in the morning at 6.
It's back to normal now. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's super wild.
Remember when it was just empty roads?
Yep.
Oh, so
Yep.
awesome. I
That was
loved
the
that.
best. But I used to go to Seattle, like West Seattle, all the time. So like even at the beginning of the pandemic, because I have friends over there. But so when that bridge was gone, I was like, fuck.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a commute now.
But they're like, I can't tell if they're trying to fix it or they're gonna like just rebuild it. I thought it was like maybe they're like putting a Band-Aid on it. I don't know what they're.
I have no idea.
I don't know if I trust a Band-Aid.
Yeah, on a bridge.
Yeah,
Oh God. Have you guys been to Huskies in West Seattle?
Yeah,
of course.
yeah,
Oh my
definitely.
God!
Yeah.
Shout out Huskies. That's the best ice cream place in
It is good.
Seattle. In
It's
my
great.
opinion.
It's great. I've been going there since a kid. Yep.
They had really good beef jerky back in the day too. I don't eat beef jerky anymore, but they had really good beef jerky. That was good.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, guys, what is some advice that you each have for up and coming artists, creators, influencers? I'll start with Nicholas.
Stay humble no matter what happens, and be thankful.
I agree with those. Do what you love.
Mm-hmm.
Just do that. The thing that makes the butterflies in your stomach happen.
Yeah.
The thing that makes you feel like, just the thing that makes you feel. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, it's just that. Like, the thing that comes from your heart. Just do that thing. And then it doesn't have to be music. It doesn't have to be, painting. Just do whatever it is that thing for you.
There we go.
That's it.
Oh, I have actually one more question because you guys have so many tattoos. It's dope. What is your most memorable tattoo that you each have?
My left arm is a mess at the moment.
That must hurt getting like just black ink.
Oh yeah. No, I mean it's all right. But I'm continuing. I'm doing a whole other piece over this. I had some toys that are killing each other.
Oh.
And
Like
yeah.
Toy Story death?
Yeah. Like there's a ventriloquist doll buried under there somewhere. There's a teddy
Okay.
bear lighting a bunny rabbit on fire. But it's getting blacked out. I'm doing a bunch of cool like geometrical shapes and stuff. So
That's dope.
yeah.
And how many tattoos do you have?
I would still consider this one. So like 4. Really.
Just one big.
It's just one big blob on my arm.
There we go. What about you, Nicholas? We have like a zombie on your. Is that your right arm?
I do. I
Or
got
left arm.
zombie stuff everywhere. So
Wait, you have a. Whoa. He has a. Lower the mic for a second so the camera can see that. Oh my God. When did you get that?
I got that in Detroit right before I walked on stage.
He has a tattoo for people listening on audio. He has a tattoo on his lip.
It says zombie.
So you're a zombie guy.
I'm a zombie guy.
I'm a zombie guy.
I'm just a zombie guy.
This guy.
This guy is zombie guy. I think one of my most meaningful tattoos would be that dedication to my buddy John Beats, who actually passed away when we were on tour together.
Oh shoot, I'm sorry to hear.
Yeah, it was years ago and super tragic. Their van was like an hour behind us on the freeway, and we were on I-80, and it's one of those just terrible drives where a lot of vehicles crash, and it flipped over and he passed away.
Jeez.
Yeah, but my conversations with him like nights before was just how much he loved music and how much he was doing what he loved every day. So I know that he died doing what he loved every day, and that's like one of the most important things we can all do is make sure you do what you love every single day, because you never know. You never fucking know.
Do you like Rob Zombie?
He's a cool guy.
Makes music and movie director. That's
he does.
so
That is
stuff.
crazy. That's all of it. That's doing
That's
all
working.
of them. Yeah, that's we're like here. Oh man, got to do the social media post. This guy's making movies.
I gotta spend an hour doing this thing. Yeah, this guy's fucking.
Do you guys have like main tattoo artists you go to now, or?
I'm seeing a gal named Heidi.
Okay, shout out Heidi.
Yeah, she's dope. She's also doing a wellness life coaching stuff too.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Majority of mine were by a guy named Jamie King, who's amazing. He did all my zombies and my chest and stuff.
Wow, you're a real rocker.
And then Jeff Hayes did a lot of my other arm. So yeah,
That's awesome. So, what is the easiest way to reach each of you guys? We'll start with Nicholas.
probably on Twitter or Instagram or
Yeah, Instagram, Twitter.
yeah.
Um,
We always do our best to reply to everybody and say what up.
doing my best to TikTok.
Oh.
I don't know if I'm making anything worth talking yet, but
We'll work on it.
working.
We're ticking right now. We're not talking.
You guys make really dope. What are they called? Those Spotify visuals. Those are actually like I'm really impressed with your visuals.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Some people make
Thank you.
visuals and like it clips. You know what I mean? But you guys
Yeah.
are very smooth. I really
Thank you.
enjoy
I
it.
mean,
Keeping it
we've
seamless.
worked with really
Yeah.
awesome directors that have provided us with awesome clips to
Yes.
puzzle together. Yeah, our buddy Dylan Fout actually just did our last video.
Killed it.
Killed it.
Yes, sir.
Amazing. So glad that we were able to do that video with them.
It was one of the funnest videos we've ever done. I mean, we got to hang out in a pool, playing our instruments. Luckily, none of them went in the
Got
water.
wet.
It was literally the day we got them from Fender.
Oh,
We're sitting there
gosh.
like,
Keep
"Ah."
it dry.
This guy is the only guy who didn't get his butt wet.
Yep. I had a sloth with no hole. So
I'm
cool.
just sitting here like,
Oh my gosh. Well, everyone go check out Hangout
hang out.
on Spotify. Is that the main place you want people to check it out on?
All
or-
of, just
Apple Music,
listen to them on
Tidal.
all of them, so we get to play everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you got
Something like-
Deezer, get on it.
Yep.
There we go.
All that stuff.
And the videos on YouTube.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
There we go. This is the NAST podcast with
Nicholas,
and
Austin.
you guys are.
Pretty awkward.
There we go. And we did it.